Okay, it's happening on my wall. Hmm. All right, welcome everyone. If you're watching this as it's happening, this is an interview with Naiya, who's also my co-producer for the Journey to Secure Immersion. Thank you, Naiya, for doing this with me. Since this is the first time we're doing this kind of interview and handling the technology around it. So thanks for being here, Naiya. So we're doing this, so for everybody who's watching or will watch eventually, we're doing this series of interviews to give people a chance to meet the presenters. And it's one thing to see a bunch of images of presenters and reading bios and reading class descriptions, but it's never the same thing as really seeing them live and getting a sense of who they are, their character, and their nervous system. So welcome, Naiya. Yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourself and about how you discovered attachment theory.
Yeah. Thank you, Philippe. Thanks for putting all of this together. Really admire how much you show up in this space so beautifully. Yeah, I guess this is really fun because it's bridging two parts of my life. A lot of people don't know that I have a master's in intercultural psychology. And that was in my bachelor's where I studied psychology was where I actually first was acquainted with the actual theory of attachment theory. And as my journey through academia kind of fizzled out after my master's, I needed to take a break. And I kind of immersed myself more in like the spiritual world and the world of Tantra, Neo-Tantra, and shamanism. And I really like heavily dove into that. That's where I started to like do more of the actual integrated embodied attachment theory work. And so I had this concept of like what it looked like and how it showed up, and kind of this like foundation, this academic foundation of particularly like John Bowlby's attachment theory. And I was even so in love and so interested and curious about it. I was going to write my master's thesis on attachment theory in multicultural societies, pertaining to immigrants and coming into new cultures and how their previous attachment styles can be oriented or reorient or kind of work against them in integrating and being welcomed into a new space. So that's a huge, like, there's so much to unpack there, and there is some research on it, which is pretty cool. So if you're interested in that, highly recommend looking into it. But then I think where my passion really came out was in the embodied practice of attachment work and working to regulate my nervous system, and just seeing how it really impacted my relationships. Like that me taking responsibility and regulating my nervous system was just like dropping a stone in the water, and it like rippled out, and then people around me would start to, oh yeah, okay, I feel more calm too, and they start to regulate, and then there's this like beautiful co-regulation going on. So that's a little bit of my journey with attachment theory and my journey in general in life of where I'm at right now.
Beautiful, beautiful. Do you have a sense of what attachment styles you lean into?
Oh yeah. Well, it's been interesting to actually work with it, because I think in my teenage years, I would have identified myself as avoidant or anxious. But now when I look back and I see those teenage years, I'm like, actually, it was really avoidant. And so now I'm kind of embracing like, I have this avoidant attachment style, and I've been working with it a lot. And I'd say avoidant is, I mean, we've talked about it a lot. Like avoidant is one of like the hardest. I mean, there's disorganized, there's anxious, but like avoidant is like, I'm fine, nothing's wrong. Like, what do you like? Why are you so anxious? Like, why are you feeling this way? And to take responsibility and be like, wait a minute, something I might need to look at myself right now. It's really, really hard. It's really hard. And I think a lot of people, this was me as well, walk around thinking I'm a securely attached person, I'm fine. It's my partners who are the problem, or it's my parents who are the problem, or it's my siblings or the people around me, instead of like, well, actually, there might be something I'm not looking at here. There might be something I can't see. And I had this beautiful insight of like, kind of looking at avoidance like holding a candle up in the dark. You can't really look exactly at the flame or you'll get burned. It'll be too
Mm.
much. And you can't look at the dark or else you won't know what you're in. So you like hold the candle up a little away from your eyes and it kind of starts to illuminate everything around you. And you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on.
That's really awesome. I never heard that analogy. That's really cool. Yeah, the number of people when I've done classes on attachment theory, and I have people give me a sense of where they think they are. There's usually like one or two people on the avoidant corner, and everybody else is in the secure corner or the anxious or disorganized corners. And I'm like, and I look at the group, I'm like, there's probably a few more of you who are avoided, who think you're secure, but you just haven't been pushed enough, and you've set up your life in such a way that you're never gonna feel the overwhelm that avoidant coping mechanisms often represent.
Yeah.
And in a way, it's a way of setting one's life so that things are within a zone of tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
And it also means often that people who are in the avoidant or who have an avoidant attachment style will set up their lives so that they're more free, or they're not close enough to somebody that they will feel that emergent avoidant coping mechanisms.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really have so much compassion for all of the attachment styles. Like working with the avoidance, like I just realized how the aspect of self-care is so important to like
Mhm.
not fully throw myself in those spaces where I'm working on it all the time, because I can get overwhelmed and be in burnout and then just need to like retreat for like months. So now it's like it's a dance of like, well, you know what? I think I need to like go self-regulate like out in nature or something. This is a little too much, and then come back. And that, that's that tool of empowerment of really using and understanding this is where I'm at. I want to work on it, but I don't want to push myself right now.
Mm. Yeah, there's the path and the journey of feeling more deeply where the needs are, where the feelings are than the needs are. At least for me on my journey, in a similar direction, it's been kind of slow. It's like listening to music that's really, really faint, and there's so much going on in the background, including partners whose emotions and expression is so much louder than trying to hear what my feelings and my needs are.
Mm,
So 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 to be alone, or to be in nature, or to be in a place where there's no other needs kind of coming at me, including my little boy way back when, actually allows me to listen to that music that says, oh, this is how you're feeling and this is what you need.
yeah.
And it's taken me a while to really feel that, to really understand that, um so that I would like create the space and the space and the self-care for me to feel that. And then later on be able to tell people like, oh, this is what I really need. Or now I remember last time this happened, even though I can't necessarily feel it, I can actually ask as people to support me in similar ways than I've needed before.
Hmm. Yeah.
All right,
And
let's talk about. Oh, so go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, it's just that beautiful process of knowing yourself, knowing your system, and caring for it and helping others. That's that, um,
Yeah.
like working together to resource, to care. Like this is what I need. This is what you need. Like let's find some synergy some way.
Yeah. Beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about what you're bringing to the Journey to Secure online immersion. Like you believe you have two classes and a free bonus offering. So for people who sign up, they get to have that bonus offering along with being able to watch your class, or to actually be a part of your class or
Hmm.
classes. Tell us about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, so kind of segueing into my journey with attachment and not really knowing which I oriented towards more. One of the classes that I'll be teaching, that I'll be facilitating, is called Attachment Theater. And so we're going to take some time to try on the hats of each of the attachment styles.
Mm,
So we might have I might have my home in avoidant. Um, well, had my home and avoidant, right? Now I'm moving more securely. But it's really this practice of embodiment and taking on that character. Not only do we get to know it more, but we also like diffuse the energy that it and the power that it has over us. So say I am functioning in my avoidant pattern and my partner is functioning in their anxious pattern. I might just be confined to my avoidant perspective. But if I take the experience in, like we'll do in the class, to step into what is it like to be anxious? What are the anxious parts of me saying? Because we've all experienced some form of anxiety in our life. And taking time to like let it move and see it and see the patterns that it's in can help to release the charge that it actually has over our life, and bring more compassion into our relationships for our partners or family members or our community.
Beautiful. Yeah, for all the times that I've heard um, people of one attachment style just declare how much the behavior or the coping mechanisms of another attachment style doesn't make sense to them. I think it's really exciting to play around with sort of embodying those attachment styles and feeling how that feels in the body. And of course, as somebody who's lean avoidant, like being in anxiety has been a rare moment, but when it happens, it just floors me. I'm like, some people have that happen so much. And then of course for us, it's like a kind of, it can be more of a shutdown or more of a sort of a quietness or loneliness, at least for me. And this is not as much of a reality for somebody who's anxious. So the reality of what's it like to be in that kind of nervous system, I think is super useful to learn about that reality.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And then so the second class that I'm offering is attachment meets contact. And this is kind of bridging contact improv with attachment theory, that practice of embodying the attachment styles, but with a twist where if you're tuning in to the event from a space where you're with other humans, definitely put your bodies together, play together. But if we're tuning in alone, what the prompt, what the intention is to find out the ways that we're in contact with our inner world and our outer world, and how we organize towards that. So working with our eyes closed and how that feels and what our nervous system is doing, and then opening, looking at something in the room, looking at something on the screen, and seeing how the contact registers in our system, and what that does with our the way we wanna move, like whether we wanna move towards it or away from it, or just how our nervous system feels about that.
Mm. It just occurs to me that it could be fun, and of course your class will be however you want. Would be like to think of different past partners or people in our lives. Of course there's the imagining of, there's the looking at something, but there's also the imagining of something or someone and noticing the impact on the nervous system.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe you'll see that in the class.
Beautiful. And also tell us about your bonus offering.
My bonus offering, yes. It's pretty new, so I'm really excited to share it. It's 11 practices to integrate an altered state. And a lot of people might say, well, I don't work with altered states. Pretty much we all work with altered states. You drink something, you eat some food, you're altering your state. These are ways. This is referring to kind of intense altered states, maybe with holotropic breath work. So really lifting the spirit, and then coming back into the body. It can be this festival, this online immersion festival, where we're going to journey together and then come out of it somewhere else. And so whatever insights we kind of have after a retreat or like a psychedelic journey with some like sacred earth medicines or breath work, or even a massage, like a really intense body work, after these experiences, we can often feel left like hung to dry, like, oh, wow, that was amazing. What do I do with all of this now? I'm going to go sleep. And then we wake up and we kind of jump back into the old rhythm. Maybe something changed, but we don't really know what changed. So there's practices. There's not just 11, there's so many. And a friend of mine and I are working on a specific integration deck to help people with this as well. So there's many practices that can help figure out what shifted, what is new, what can I integrate in my life now, so that we're not kind of in that pattern of going back to the medicine or the therapist or this or that, whatever, the retreats, the endless retreats. Like, we're really integrating the wisdom that we've gained on our journeys and bringing it into our life to enrich our lives with our family, our relationships with ourselves and others.
That's beautiful. So yeah, it sounds like different techniques in that bonus offering, which I think is a PDF. And is it a kind of a workbook as well?
It's not a workbook. There are 11 different offerings. It will guide you through, it gives you the whole way to their practices. So it'll give you how to go about each practice. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. You can reach out to me at thegroundedfeminine@gmail.com. Pretty simple. Or head to my website or find me through journeytosecure.com.
Beautiful, beautiful. So it sounds like these practices will support sort of the harvesting or the getting the gold at the end of the journey. So sort of like after having done deep work, whether it's through a therapy session or psychedelic journey, assisted psychedelic journey, or any sort of journey where you feel like there's a lot to integrate. It sounds like this bonus offering will support people in getting the most out of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Well said.
Beautiful, beautiful. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'm really excited for the Journey to Secure online immersion. Yeah. It's something, Philippe, you and I have been dreaming up for, I don't know, since last year now. And so I think since last summer, last spring. And I'm so excited and grateful. Like, there's an amazing lineup. I'm just amazed when I look at this lineup. I'm like, wow, this is really what we get to tune into, and the people we get to learn from, and not just learn from, but collectively journey together. I think that I shared a post on this recently in the attachment group about the work that we do and how it ripples out into the collective, like that there are these systems around us that are functioning in, like, profiting off of avoidance and anxious orientation. And to be doing the inner work to shift that, to take back that power, to know that, like, actually, I don't need to order something online to make me feel secure. I don't need to eat that to make me feel secure. Like, I feel secure. I know what helps me to feel secure, and I know how to regulate in these ways. And that work, it just lights me up. It's like, yes, this is the work. Like, this is the work that not just shifts our life, but the life of everyone around us.
Yeah, for me, when you say that, it's beautifully said. The piece around society sort of taking advantage of us, like there's the capitalistic society that is looking for what we need or what we think we need, and giving us just enough to leave us wanting for more, and then giving us just enough to leave us wanting for more, rather than at least at some level giving us what we need so that we don't need anymore, or instead so that we can actually connect more securely to others, not from a place of lacking, but from a place of abundance.
Yeah, beautifully said.
Yeah, a place of giving, a place of and to me that speaks to the to secure to the sort of, I would call that a secure operating system, which is we have great capacity to regulate, we have great capacity to self-care, we have great capacity to source from within, but also to get help and get support and support others in the same way for regulation and self-care, that we can all do this together. And there's that kind of togetherness calls that kind of togetherness brings us I don't know what to call that, like brings us a lessening of extra needs that we don't actually need,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you have people that you love in your life, and there's then the contentment and the groundedness that comes with that, there's a lot less shopping and scrolling and futzing on Facebook, for example.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that power of community where we're like receiving and giving and receiving and giving. And it's like an organism. It just kind of, it's regulating itself. And as,
Right.
wow, like as we are regulating together, like regulating the organism, regulating our inner organism, regulating as a collective organism, it just brings more people into that as well. And it just gets bigger and bigger until we're all regulating as this like beautiful symphony, as this movement together.
Yeah, what you just said suddenly had this light bulb in my head that togetherness is a kind of regulation. Like we use each other as reference points, and because we're doing it, when we do it closely to each other, that togetherness is regulating, is self-caring, and is resourcing. And these are the three pillars of the journey to secure that we came up with, is the sense that regulation, self-care, regulation, care, and resourcing actually happens much more effectively, much better, and much more fully when we're close to each other and when we're together.
Very true. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for all that. I think that concludes our little interview. And if you're watching this, I'll be creating interviews with other presenters, so keep an eye out for it. And until then, I hope you journey safely in your life.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you on the journey to secure. And thank you again, Philippe, for just dropping in and getting the vibe about attachment together.
Hey, I learned from you just being here.
I learned from you.
All right. I'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you.